Welcome to my guide for the Roseberry Topping walk featuring Captain Cook's monument. In this video I'll start by giving you a quick summary of the 6.5 mile route so you know exactly where to go and what to expect along the way. After that I'll take you through a selection of my photographs from the walk. These photos will give you a clear idea of the landmarks, views and unique spots you will encounter, helping you plan your own visit. The walk begins at the east end of High Street in Great Ayton, near the village green. The car park is at the junction of High Street, Newton Road and Station Road. Heading north along Newton Road, there's a public footpath on the right, accessed through a wrought iron gate. The path crosses a railway line before continuing up Rye Hill towards Cliff Rigg Wood. Inside the wood, a diagonal path on the right leads uphill through the trees. At the top, the route turns briefly left, then right, continuing towards a farmhouse. From the farmhouse, a left turn followed by an immediate right leads to the shooting box at the base of Roseberry Topping. Beyond the shooting box, the route ascends Roseberry Topping, reaching the summit marked by a triangulation pillar. The descent involves a right-hand U-turn onto a stone-stepped path that zigzags downhill. At the base of the hill, the dry stone wall remains on the right, guiding the trail towards a cone-shaped hill in the distance. Another stone-stepped path climbs to Newton Moor. Passing through a gate, the route continues straight on, heading southeast before curving south. After approximately 1.25 miles, the track descends to the road at Gribdale Gate. It's a right turn onto the road followed by an immediate left onto a forestry track. The track climbs south before narrowing into a stone-stepped path leading to Captain Cook's monument on Easby Moor. From the monument, a sharp right-hand path crosses the moorland and passes between two large stone gateposts. The path veers left, descending steeply through Ayton Banks Wood. Beyond the wood, the trail continues straight on to meet another path, where a right turn follows. The path descends round hill to reach several large houses. A left turn onto a stone track leads southwest for under half a mile, crossing a railway bridge and arriving at Fletcher's farm. The route passes through the farm and follows the road to a junction with the main road. There's a right turn here that leads northwest, returning to the village of Great Ayton. Now that you're familiar with the route, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the walk through a selection of my photographs. After leaving Great Ayton, I cross the railway line and head up Rye Hill. Then I walk into Cliff Rigg Wood, owned by the National Trust. Inside the wood, there's a sign telling me about Cliff Rigg Quarry. I see 3 paths, one on the left, one on the right, and one going uphill diagonally to the right, which is the one I take. I decide to take a quick detour to check out Cliff Rigg Quarry. I'm glad I did because the views from the top ridge of the quarry are amazing. The National Trust takes care of this place, which was made by digging up a type of rock called whinstone from the Cleveland Dyke. This rock stretches all the way from the Yorkshire coast to the Isle of Mull. People used the stone mostly to build roads, and the quarry stayed open until 1973. After climbing through the woods and reaching the top of the hill, I spot a sign near some old, twisted larch trees. It says that in 1736, the explorer James Cook moved to Great Ayton with his family. His dad, James Cook Sr., got a job managing Airy Home Farm, which probably came with a cottage. There's an old photo from the 1930s on the sign showing a farmer, William Martin, near some trees. Writing on the back of the photo says that this is where the Cook's family cottage stood. A bit further along I reach a lovely stone farmhouse. There's a gate and a stile and a path on the right goes to Airy Home Farm. This path could also get me to Roseberry Topping, but I turn left instead. As soon as I turn left, I'm rewarded with a fantastic view of Roseberry Topping. The hill is framed by a path running alongside a hedgerow. The path is about half a mile long and almost perfectly straight, pointing right at Roseberry Topping's summit. In the distance, I can just about see the shooting box, which I want to visit before climbing the hill. It's sitting on a little hill above a wooded area. The shooting box is on the southwest side of Roseberry Topping. It was built in the late 1700s for Captain Wilson, a friend of Captain Cook. People used it as a shelter for picnics and shooting trips. It's a protected building listed since 1995. It's made of stone and has a door on one side and windows on the other three sides. On top, there's a small dome with a ball on it. From here, I can see walkers climbing up Roseberry Topping and others already on the summit. After checking out the shooting box, I start my climb to Roseberry Topping. The path is well made, with stone steps that are easy to walk on. The steps keep the path free from mud and stop it from getting worn away. The stone path goes all the way to the top of Roseberry Topping. The hill is a popular spot, especially at weekends, so it's often busy. Before heading to the triangulation pillar at the top, I remind myself of the descent plan. I'll turn right at the summit and take a different path back down. There are lots of trails at the top, so it's easy to get a bit mixed up. The views from the summit are incredible, although today it's a bit misty. Looking southwest, I can see loads of walkers below, looking tiny as they climb. I can also spot the straight path I took earlier. Beyond Newton Wood, I can just about make out the village of Great Ayton. Looking west, I see the small village of Newton under Roseberry. There are people climbing the hill from Roseberry Lane, which shows how popular this spot is. On a clear day, you can see much further, including Middlesbrough, Stockton, Billingham and Hartlepool. The triangulation pillar at the top of Roseberry Topping is 320 metres high. People often think it's the tallest hill in the North York Moors, but there are actually 15 higher hills, including nearby Easby Moor, which is 450 metres tall. From here, I can also see Captain Cook's monument on Easby Moor, which is my next stop. I head down from Roseberry Topping on a stone path that's part of the Cleveland Way National Trail. The path is well built, with stones and good drainage. It zigzags down, which makes the descent fairly easy. At the bottom, I keep the dry stone wall on my right as I continue along the trail. The path leads uphill towards Newton Moor. As I climb towards Newton Moor, I look back at Roseberry Topping and enjoy the stunning view. There are plenty of trails around the hill, some circle it, while others go straight up to the summit. Many of these paths are already well surfaced, and there are plans to improve even more. I glance south and can make out Captain Cook's monument on Easby Moor. The route I intend to follow will cross the ridge from left to right. I pause to look back at Roseberry Topping once again. Once I reach the top of Newton Moor, I follow a flat path heading south. A dry stone wall runs along my right-hand side, and Newton Moor stretches out to my left. This section of the walk is straightforward and provides a relaxing break after the earlier climbs. After about 1¼ miles, the path begins to descend towards Gribdale Gate. Across the valley, I can see Captain Cook's monument on Easby Moor. The path down is stepped and leads to Gribdale Gate, a popular spot with a car park and picnic area. From here, I can see the track I'll take uphill through the woodland. The forestry track climbs gently uphill for just over ½ mile. It's part of the Cleveland Way National Trail. About halfway up, I come across a seating area with benches. It's a lovely spot to pause and rest. Nearby, there are a few memorials, including a wreath decorated with pine cones, berries and a ribbon. As I get closer to the top of Easby Moor, the forestry track narrows and becomes a stone-stepped path. I pass a plaque commemorating a Lockheed Hudson plane crash that happened here in 1940. The plane went down because of ice on its wings. Out of the 4 crew members, only one survived. Continuing along the path towards the monument, I pass a small Christmas tree decorated with red baubles. Finally, I reach Captain Cook's monument. It was built in 1827 to honour the famous explorer who spent part of his childhood in Great Ayton. A local banker, Robert Campion, funded the monument after failing to raise public donations. The monument was completed on the 27th of October 1827, which also happens to be Captain Cook's birthday. Several paths lead away from Captain Cook's monument. I take the one to my right, which crosses a bit of moorland and passes between two large stone gateposts. The path then turns left and descends steeply into Ayton Banks Wood. As I make my way down through the woodland, the path becomes steep and leads me into open countryside. From here, I get a fantastic view of Roseberry Topping in the distance. I follow the path downhill along a track to reach Fletcher's farm and Little Ayton. I walk through the farm and continue along the road. At the junction with the main road, I turn right. I follow this road northwest for about half a mile, and it brings me back to the village of Great Ayton. On my way into the village, I notice a large tree in the grounds of the Quaker burial ground. This peaceful area was established in 1700 and has gravestones that follow traditional Quaker customs. Finally, I return to the car park in Great Ayton, marking the end of my Roseberry Topping walk. This has been a fantastic journey, with stunning views, fascinating landmarks and plenty of history along the way. If you're planning to do this walk yourself, I hope this guide has been useful. You can find more details on my website at paulbeal.com.